More possible info on the Joker solo film, Justice League Dark getting a little polish, Suicide Squad production next year, and so much movie news right now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Yeah, there it is. God, I was hoping something was going to happen.
That could have been awkward.
Oh, could have been.
Heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
What up, everybody? This is the DC Movie News Show, starting a few minutes late, but hey, we're here, and that's all that matters. We have a full squad. Adam Gertler, Mike Kalinowski, they cannot be here right now. They are in the middle of fighting crime against the people that are causing crime. I didn't know where I was going with that, but they're doing something cool, and you're going to see it soon enough.
It's like when you start talking, you realize you're not allowed to say what you're about to say, so you just make some crap up.
That's exactly what I just did.
Yep.
So they're doing things that you'll see soon, but most importantly, we're all here. We're at DC Movies SK on Twitter, Facebook.com/DC Movies SK. I'm Jonny Loquasto at JQuasto. The lovely lady over there to my left, she just got back from Hawaii, hosting panels galore. I don't even know different kinds of genres, and mostly comics.
Mostly comics, a little bit of Star Wars thrown in. Alan Tudyk was there. Ray Park was there, played Darth Maul.
Nice.
A little bit of Marvel with X-Men.
So you had a great time. You have a brand new shirt featuring Superman, Flash,
Green Lantern,
Batman.
That's cute. Did it come all shredded like that?
Yeah, it's a company called Twisted Cuts.
Oh, cool.
And they have their stuff on twistedcuts.com, but they always bring them out. They're local in Hawaii, and they always come out every convention and always get one of their shirts.
That's incredible.
You said Star Wars stuff. What do you think's going on with Luke? That's a different show. Okay.
She's Elena Jordan, everybody. Hey. And next to me, this man is my favorite photographer on earth. He doesn't even go on Twitter, but he has an Instagram. Follow him at Ricky Middlesworth. Go to rickymiddlesworth.com, and just on the front page alone, you're going to be blown away, not only by the stars he photographs. Don't stop pointing at me.
His face is on there, that's why.
Yeah, I'm the least worthy person on there. Just his talent is ridiculous. And actually, he's the reason we have our cool show photo with the four of us and like the smoky, you know, CW vibe going on.
Our BVS poster.
He's Ricky Middlesworth.
Hi, everybody.
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you,
having
buddy.
me back.
Oh, I didn't realize the flash.
Is this distracting, right? My action figure right in front of my microphone like that?
I think it looks fantastic. He's having a
I
good
brought
time.
some friends with me today.
And the crown jewel of the DC Movie News Show. She's the host of TV Fights on Screen Junkies every single week. Find her everywhere on social media at Roxy Striar. She is the Roxy Striar.
Hello, Hawaii. I wish I was in Hawaii.
How you
I'm trying to
doing?
get tan and stuff. It's 104 damn degrees here.
It's
I saw
sweltering.
109.
Damn.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what my
I
car
got off the
said.
plane and was very sad.
Yeah.
Well, when you leave Hawaii, it's
Sorry.
sadness every time.
Did you guys see
But then I
about
came
that
back to a heat
story
wave.
that's sad and has nothing to do with the show about the person who left their dog out attached to a pole and he died in LA in the heat?
I
It
know.
makes me too sad. No.
But there are far worse weather situations going on in America right now.
It's
so we
very,
are
very
actually
true.
Right.
very lucky.
I should, yep.
And
I'll
obviously-
shut my mouth right about now.
All of our positive vibes are with everyone in Houston. I'm sure we all have been to Houston many times. I've been a bunch. I have a bunch of my best friends from home lives in Houston and had to evacuate. And so if there's any way you can donate, we encourage you to do it.
I donated to Red Cross just by texting 90999 Harvey.
Yes.
And it just takes it out of your phone bill. It's so easy.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I was actually looking into ways to getting down there because I wanted to go like on a boat and rescue people because I'm insane. And unfortunately, there was no way to get into the city. Yeah.
I think that makes you insane.
That's very in character for you.
I really wanted to do it. Like one of my firefighter buddies almost got called. Like they're calling people even from out here to go down. And he said the way they would do it is they would fly into a certain airport, transport them, then they would get on some kind of military boat, I guess, and that's how they get the official.
See, this is where we need Superman in life.
I know.
Yeah.
He could really come help us out.
We really do.
Batman,
But
not
we
so
can all
much.
be real life
Superman.
superheroes by donating and sending all of our efforts.
Yeah, but with how difficult it is for everyone in Houston, you know, all we can do is just bring you a good show and all the DC info that you want, and we hope it brings you a little bit of solace if you are dealing with a lot of stuff in your life right now. So, first things first, I would say not a massive week for news. We agree on that? Maybe more TV news than anything.
There was good, interesting news this week, but nothing could be massive compared to last week. I feel like last week was the biggest news.
My head is still spinning from last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with the aftermath of that, but there's definitely enough to have a full, jam-packed show. And like you said, Johnny, I'm always excited for some TV time.
Yeah, I know. We got the brand new theme song thanks to the homie Matt Volmar.
He's the homie, though.
That's right. Well, first things first, though. Super Dark Joker. So this is so weird.
Yeah.
Of all people, Brendan Schaub, I guess, leaked some information on the Joe Rogan podcast this past week. Brendan Schaub, former MMA fighter, now he's one of the co-hosts of Fighter and the Kid podcast. I know him from, I've done a couple stand-up shows with him. He is friends essentially with Todd he's friends with Todd Phillips' agent, essentially. And I'm trying to bring this up here.
All right, so here was his quote. The quote was, "My boy Todd Feldman put this together with Todd Phillips. Todd squared." That wasn't part of the quote. That was just me talking. It's dark, like a dark Joker. As a kid, he had a permanent smile and everyone made fun of him. It's like on the streets of Brooklyn. It's super dark and real. That's the quote.
Kind of dig that, if that's the case.
Yeah, and like when we talk about it's giving us, people are saying spoilers about what Joker's going to be. I think this gives us just about no spoilers. I feel like it.
I think it's so early on, anything can change too.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it's interesting that we're going to pin down a definitive origin story, and it does seem like that's the direction they're going. This isn't like early Joker with flashbacks, and we see in a unique, weird, Baz Luhrmann-y, twisted-esque way multiple stories or multiple. It's just going to be. Clearly, here's how he became the way he is what I'm getting the sense of.
I come in peace here today. Obviously, I'm on DC Movie News. I love this franchise. I have these toys, but I'm so concerned with all that I'm hearing about this movie. I'm not excited for a Joker origin. I think it demystifies the character. And even reading this story this week made me less excited. I don't want to see the Joker in school bullied with a permanent smile. I just think it sort of it's a perversion of how I know the character to be, with the mystery behind him and the backstory that we'd already established in the comics. And I don't understand why they're going this route.
I will say, though,
Money?
Yeah, but
it's
so confusing.
In Hawaii, I got the chance to talk to Jason Fabok and to Chad Hardin, who are illustrators and writers for DC, specifically for Harley Quinn and for Batman. And one of the quotes that, when they were talking, that I really, really liked was they were talking about how there are many different adaptations of these characters. So you're going to see many incarnations. And by getting these different incarnations, that inspires different kinds of works, that inspires better works in some people's eyes, that inspires different things. So I feel like getting an origin story where it could be kind of risky, I don't think is a negative, because then it's highlighting more focus on this character that so far has been kind of romanticized.
Sure.
And people have kind of lost sight of the fact that he's a villain. Like, he has... It's not this...
Yeah, but that's a delicate balance, though. When you tell an origin story, at the end of the movie, you with the Joker at least, the audience should be saying, okay, he is pure evil. I don't feel any sorrow for him.
Yeah.
But with the kind of story where, like, he's walking around the streets of Brooklyn in school and kids are picking on him, like, are we going to start to feel bad for him? Like, oh, I kind of get it. Like, I don't think that's the feeling
we saw Michael Myers as a kid in the Rob Zombie remake, and I didn't think that worked. I don't know. It's worrisome.
I thought it was interesting
now
that
we're getting a new John Carpenter Halloween with Blumhouse. So it's like, boom. If that hadn't have happened, then we wouldn't have gotten this other work. So I feel like, really, even if it is in some ways could potentially be a negative because it does humanize a character that needs to be dehumanized, I feel like, if anything, if it's going to highlight more attention to a character that has been kind of, at this point glossed over and has not really been delved into as much as it could be in the comic, as he has been in the comics, I think it's cool to bring it on screen.
I like what Adam said. If it's a good movie, it's good.
Right.
Like, that's the end.
Pretty much.
Kind of, not like to shut it down, but kind of end a discussion. Like, it's going to suck if it sucks, and if it's great, then it's going to be great, and then we'll all eat crow here.
Sure.
Predictions-wise, are we liking the way it sounds? Maybe some of us are, maybe some of us aren't. But if they pick a great story and they tell it well, then it's going to be good.
I'm going to go open-minded. I want it to be good. It's just with our TV version with Cameron and Jared, and now this version, it seems like they're indecisive. It seems like because the DCEU is a little bit shaky, to me it sounded like they're looking for a way out with these Elseworld stories, if they catch on more with this, then okay, you have invested your money more in this character and your excitement. We're going to go this route now. Sorry, Jared. It just puts Jared Leto in a strange position. What if people end up loving this version better? I don't understand. I don't know how to make movies, but it's confusing.
We don't know how far we're going to go into the life of Joker, though. It could just lead up to the point where he becomes the Jared Leto version or something to that extent. Like, I'm intrigued. I'm fascinated by the fact that they might actually do an origin story of the Joker. And which way is it going to go? Because he is a failed stand-up comedian, but now we're talking about him being in school. So there's like, it's kind of hard to predict which way they're going to go with it.
Who knows how legit his, you know, they could have just been like throwing around ideas and he'd overheard something.
It doesn't have too much merit.
Yeah.
I agree. Moving on.
Moving on, Gerald Johnstone has been hired to do a polish of the script for Justice League Dark. He made an impression on the studio with his presentation, but also his 2014 film Housebound really got him in good, with WB. And so obviously this film doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. But Johnstone's going to get in there and try to fix things up a little bit.
It's the new Shazam, Johnny. Swerve, whirve, perv, curve.
Perv?
Where? Maybe.
Okay.
And when it comes to dark, you never know.
That's
Pervs
true.
are all Swamp Thing. Perv.
Dark
Sorry,
and
Adam.
perversion.
Yeah, this is just like somebody's being hired to polish the script. You would think they would wait until they had a director to polish the script based on who the director was going to be so they knew how it was going to be polished. But they're not. So that's cool. I'm sure he'll do a fine job.
I think that's a fancy way of saying we're working on it. Calm down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more revisions considering we don't have a director attached. So I think saying we're polishing it is a nice way of saying we're writing it. We're working on it. We got stuff going.
I always wonder what polish actually means. Like, is polish a touch-up or is polish an entire new paint job?
Technically, polish should mean a touch-up. I believe it means a lot more than a touch-up. It might mean a new transmission, new brakes, partial new engine.
Sell the car completely, buy a new one.
That's the only parts I know
Yellow
in a
pages,
car.
pink pages,
It's
blue
not just
pages.
a Chris Terrio edition. It's like a Matt Reeves overhaul.
I want to find a way to see Swamp Thing just like Adam does on the screen.
Yeah.
Don't know how we can do it,
I
but
told
hey.
you, perv.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Just kidding. Swamp Thing's not a perv.
But yeah, so it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. But they are working on the script. So here's something that came out this week from Variety. Hearing at the earliest, Suicide Squad 2 won't go into production until the fall of 2018 because of Will Smith's schedule with Aladdin and Gemini.
Yeah. So this was a tweet from Justin Kroll who said that, which honestly makes sense because we've known about Will Smith and Aladdin for a little bit now, but I hadn't taken the time to do the math about when that actually meant, and I felt like we were talking about Suicide Squad 2 right now, and it seems so hot. We talk about it on the show every week. But the fact that it's probably not going to go into production until fall 2018, the earliest, means we got definitely some time to chill on that.
Yeah.
Like we're talking 2020, 2021.
I think it's
around
great news. They have more than 6 weeks to write the script. Awesome.
Good.
Yes. Oh yeah, agreed.
Take your time. But what I found interesting was that they said this will delay Gotham City Sirens and Joker and Harley, and I didn't necessarily think that would be true.
I still
right?
don't understand the order of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I
And
don't know why
mean,
they're.
it's confusing who's involved in Suicide Squad 2 also. Like, I've heard that there potentially won't be a Harley in it, potentially won't be a Joker in it. So then what would one have to do with the next?
Be a much harder sell.
Yeah, certainly. And where there's money, you should probably take it. But I've heard that they're going to mix it up there. So we'll see. We'll see how that works.
But as long as they have a storyline that makes sense for all three,
Yes.
I'm like, take your time, do whatever
Yeah.
order you need.
Yes.
Give
I'm
me
not
a
going
good
anywhere.
movie in 2 years, better than a crappy movie next year. I'll take
Totally.
it.
Yeah.
Look, the DC Universe waited long enough for the films we're getting now, and obviously Wonder Woman totally paid off. Suicide Squad paid off financially, and so
Literally paid off.
Let's look at it this way: the sequel can't. How can I word this? The sequel to Suicide Squad can't be criticized worse than the original. So we can only hope.
Don't put
They'd
that
have to
out
try
there.
really hard to
kinda
get
like
worse
the
reviews.
original.
Right? Yeah.
too.
Let's be honest. It's not.
didn't
It can't
dislike
get
it.
worse reviews than what it got. You learn from your mistakes.
Before
you move on.
Wonder Woman, it was my favorite of the three that had been out. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm becoming a massive fan of David F. Sandberg. Not only a couple weeks ago did he release a fake script from Shazam.
It's my favorite story of the entire week.
Yeah.
By far and away my favorite story.
DC Movie News Theater. Secondly, he's got a Instagram account. He's at Pony Smasher. Don't really know what that means. But he tweeted a couple of very revealing photos this week.
We know everything about everything. Spoiler alert to everybody.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Day 1 of pre-production for Shazam has begun. The first photo was 1 can of Coca-Cola. And day 2, he was through 8 cans of Coca-Cola. That is terrifying.
I heard a lot of people tweet. I saw a lot of people tweeting being like, this means something. He's trying to imply that it's more of a Coca-Cola than a Pepsi kind of production going on.
You know what I think it implies? They've started, and yay! That's all you know. That's all you know, is he said day 1.
I think it implies he needs other versions of caffeine.
People like
his
zooming
teeth are in trouble.
I feel like if Coca-Cola doesn't send him free cases just to get him through this entire shoot, then they have just missed an opportunity.
That's not going to help.
I'm glad he has a sense of humor, though, because, I mean, he's on the right project for that, right?
He really is. I think everything he's been doing so far has been really funny, and he's already won me over with photos like this and with the fake script that we got to do DC Movie News Theater on the show a few weeks ago.
Johnny,
I love it.
what song is that? He's already won me over inside of me.
You guys, my husband and I danced to that song at our wedding. That was our, yeah. You just got like my heart pumping right there.
See, it all ties in.
Yeah.
That's Alanis Morissette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually Johnny knows my song
Elena.
references.
I'm pretty good. No. Roxy's references are older than they should be, and I appreciate them.
Yeah.
So David F. Sandberg, just the man.
I'm so glad to see
his caption too. The caption on with the 8 is just on this movie. I might get to the ceiling or the hospital.
Yeah.
But
I'm just so excited that something's actually in production. We've heard about 18 movies that are in development, and finally we're getting a day 1 tweet. So that's awesome.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's happening, which is weird because 6 months ago at this time, no one would have guessed Shazam was going to be going into production in early 2K18.
Wait, you know what's kind of out of order? Can we talk about the other Shazam story, though?
Absolutely.
All right. Because this one's...
Yeah. Oh.
Because just while we're on Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Shazam!
Shazam!
This, to me, was the other piece of non-news news.
It was kind of a duh moment.
Yeah, like...
Thanks, /film.
There will actually be 2 actors in the role of Shazam. One is the kid and one is the adult.
Did we ever question that?
The quote from it where they were saying, you know, you could use a whole bunch of CGI to just young up one of them.
Yeah,
and
if you want to just burn your money.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. That
mean...
seems like way too much of a hassle. I think it's just kind of best to have a kid and an adult.
But they kind of did it with Captain America. Remember when Cap was like skinny guy?
Well, he mentions Kurt Russell and how they did a really good job in Guardians with it. But it's like, in this movie, it's not intrinsic. Like, why? There's no need.
It's
like,
such
just have 2 actors.
Opportunity to cast some cool unknown kid in the role. Yeah.
Just show off an awesome kid. Like, why are we CGIing children when there are so many child actors?
What age do you think we'll get, though? What age, Billy?
He might be younger than we expect. Maybe like an 8 or 9 or something.
I was thinking that because I don't think they're going to go as old as teens. So.
I feel like brand-wise, like they want to get as many people in the theaters. They need a really young flavor.
And when you look at like the old comics, it's that's kind of the allure of it, is that it's aimed at these younger audiences that are like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if your invisible friend was actually this badass superhero and it's you?
Yeah.
And I like the fact of it's kind of like Big in a way. Like I like you cast a real human being, and it's more. It's better than CGI. It's like when they could have CGI'd Killer Croc, and because they didn't, he was one of the best parts of the movie, and that's why Suicide Squad won.
Oscar award winning.
You CG when you have to. Like, I had no problem with them CGing in Star Wars Leia or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, you CG something that you have to CG because you cannot do it otherwise, and that's excusable, and that works for me. But when you start CGing because that's cool,
just because you can.
It's like, what are you talking about?
That's part of why
there
I
were
like
2
Sandberg
actors
so much too. Is he's just like, why would I create more work for myself when I could just make a better choice from the beginning?
If anyone appreciates practical effects, it's DC. Like, especially what they're doing with Aquaman. Like, there's a resurgence of practical effects.
Speaking of Aquaman, I like desperately want Juan and Sandberg to hang out. I just feel like they'll get each other. Like, I feel like they would be such jokesters back and forth. Juan would be like, yeah, man, shooting this like underwater non-underwater stuff's real hard. So everyone's like, yeah, you should just cast a couple different actors and
Do you want a Coca-Cola?
throw them in the ocean. Yeah, they're both goofy AF.
You're right. I think they would both get along really well.
Yeah.
And also, we still don't know who Shazam is, FYI. So
remember that time we had done
Probably any day now.
Any day now. I've been saying that for a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
they
we
said
are on day
casting
one.
will be starting soon. So
You know
that
what?
could be
Here's
They
the
love
thing.
keeping us on the edge of our
Anytime.
seats.
They're going to have to cast someone that has a lot of range. To be an adult, acting like a strong adult yet a child. I
But
mean,
not as much range as being able to look like an 8-year-old. So
Yeah.
Right. That's a fair point. But I mean, I know people are fantasy casting, and there's been a lot of words like maybe it's gonna be The Rock and he won't be Black Adam. And I don't buy that. I think he's gonna be Black Adam.
I
eventually.
always thought, regardless of logistics, because different universes and whatnot, but Channing Tatum. I always just think he is so perfect for this role. It's crazy.
Well, then he definitely won't be Gambit.
Yeah.
He's still doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh, really?
After all
He
this
could
time.
run the gambit.
I always just thought he would have been so perfect.
I agree. I think he could pull it off, and God, he looks like he could be a Shazam for sure. But
Damn.
it's tough.
Yeah, he'd be good too. Major Armstrong says Alan Rickson, the Ninja Turtle guy, right?
Army Hammer, John Cena. D Wizzle's joking about that. John Cena has the physique for it. Maybe he could pull off the childish antics. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Put it this way, John Cena, if they want to go that route, he has a bigger following than any actor they can cast. Because the pro wrestling world has a bigger social media outreach. Like, I don't even know how many millions of followers John Cena has. So that could be something. That'll be a guaranteed box office, I think.
Do you think there's any way they would be able to keep it under wraps if The Rock was Shazam until the movie came out?
As long as they
is there
didn't.
any way?
As long as they didn't tell The Rock he was Shazam.
If it was just like what I imagine Keanu Reeves' situation was, where he just
Yeah.
shows up and they're like, "This is what you're doing today."
If they told him he was filming Baywatch 2 and didn't tell him it was Shazam,
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
maybe that's about
Pretty
it.
epic.
So Ezra Miller talked to Flash, and Elena, take this quote away because it was pretty badass.
Oh, I love it. He was talking about how the Flash is going to be this big fanboy in Justice League, and he's like, imagine a 13-year-old Metallica fan who Metallica says, "Hey, we lost our drummer in a freak accident. You got to play drums now, man." And he's like, "I don't even have drumsticks." Like, just
Wow,
go.
I have it highlighted here for her to read, but she memorized it.
Yep,
That's
So
incredible.
That's pretty funny.
This is
That's
why I
so
love
cool.
Ezra Miller as the Flash, because he's basically describing himself. I don't know
He's
if you've
describing
seen
himself as
him.
an actor too.
Yeah, but he's a huge fanboy. Like, especially when you see him talk about Fantastic Beasts in the Harry Potter world. He was a big Potterhead before he got cast. He gets so excited about these roles that he's playing.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's
though,
what they
the
call each
actors
other.
who are fanboys and fangirls of their own.
Yeah, they
work. I
put their
love
love into their project, and he's so talented. It clearly shows.
Yeah, and I think it's great for him that, he cut his teeth on some real moving, like, perks of being wallflower, things that you can really
Yeah.
bite into. But now the things that he's loved his whole life, he gets to participate in. So it's like
He's such a
that
unique kind of
fanboy.
celebrity.
He is.
He's like walking around in like half drag all the time. He's so fun.
Yeah,
And he's
I like
already
him a
won
lot.
me over in the trailer. I mean, the few
Inside
little spots he has.
me,
It looks
Yeah,
so cool.
man.
you already won me over in the trailer.
Aww.
Although it wasn't spiting me. I was already going to like the trailer.
Yeah.
Get it? Dig it. This is pretty obvious news here. Joss Whedon is getting a writing credit on Justice League.
Nice.
As you would assume he is.
I mean, he's completely changing around the story, so I would hope so.
I'm only surprised
Well-
they haven't announced if he's going to get a directing credit, which I feel like
Gotta.
he's got to get at least
Unless he
co-directing.
volunteers
Yeah.
not to.
I mean, if the rumors are true, then and they got rid of the whole dark side cliffhanger ending, that's a lot of work to
That's-
rewrite
yeah.
and reshoot and redirect.
I'm not worried about Whedon getting a director credit. I'm worried about Sneider getting a director credit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
like,
think
if
they
it
would
does
do
well.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even mean like credit as in on paper. I mean the credit, like who's going to get
Right.
the praise for it. And I'm worried that if the movie crushes, everybody's going to be like, that had nothing to do with Sneider. It was
I don't know.
all
I
Whedon.
feel like, and I keep going back to this. I feel like Sneider does such good action sequences, and
He
Joss
deserves
Whedon
a lot
does
of
such
credit.
good dialogue that I
Yeah.
feel like if it's a perfect combination of the two, it'll kind of highlight to the audience that look, each of these men focus on their own forte, and that's what came together to make a really good movie. I mean, it hasn't come out, so I'm just assuming it's going to be a really good movie.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, and they both focus on what they're really good at, then I feel like any of the die-hard, meaty dialogue scenes that are giving us real character development, we can chalk that up to Joss. And I feel like any badass action sequences that you just can't look away, I think that that's going to be Sneider 100%.
Ginger Weatherby says he can't get a directing credit because Zach did the principal photography. That's not true that he can't.
No, definitely
Like,
can't.
what?
They can
That's
decide
not the
anything.
rule. Yeah.
But I don't think Joss is going to be pining to get a director credit. The guy already has enough credentials. He already knows what he's doing. Everyone knows what he's doing. And out of respect for Zack Snyder, I don't think he would really request it.
I don't know. He could use some good publicity right now.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. We can't take away all the contributions that, you know, because I've ripped into Snyder before, but, like, if it weren't for him, like, we wouldn't have had, he brought in his production designer, he brought in his editor and his costume designer and the cast.
Sound.
We wouldn't have had all those people.
Any poster, any screen grab, that's Snyder.
Yeah.
I feel like dialogue is going to be Whedon.
That's
and
why we
then
have
all the
Henry and
visuals.
Ben and Gal, and
Which is a
Which
good thing.
honestly is a great thing because Suicide Squad was, for me, 90% visual, and I still really liked it. I
Yeah.
felt like the story was really weak, but the visuals were strong enough that I was into it. So I
The
feel
dialogue
like
was kinda
if we
whack.
get... Yeah, but I'm saying if we get Joss Whedon dialogue,
Sure.
if he had gone into Suicide Squad and was like, let me dick with this a little bit and fix it, I
Yeah.
feel like...
I feel like you would say that.
Sometimes
Let
you
him
gotta-
dick with it.
You gotta, sometimes you got to dig with the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
not?
time. Sometimes, often, frequently, dick around.
Yep.
What?
It's a phrase I'm going to be using from here on out.
You're
I'll tell you that
welcome.
much. You're welcome. Wonder Woman exclusive. This is really cool. Etta Candy was one of the many bright spots of Wonder Woman. Just a hilarious performance by Lucy Davis. And they released essentially it was a deleted scene that included notes from Patty Jenkins. Am I correct on this? I wanted to wait to see it till we actually were on the show, so I'm kind of excited for this.
We'll watch it so you can check it out.
I think we could. It looks like it's a 43-second scene. So, yeah, if we can cue that up.
That video, though.
she is so great.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that
Basically,
she's
they
not
said
going
that it
to...
was oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm bummed she's not going to be in the sequel if it takes place in the 80s. Her character won't be around.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Well, she might
She's
be.
so funny.
She could be super old.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
That should be really old.
CGI your face.
Just as a little insider baseball for the rest of the show, Anthony. Anything that has star video next to it, that's what we want pulled up.
Yep.
But I like that Jenkins explained to get back to the why there were no cut scenes, and now we're seeing a cut scene, which she said, look, this was conceived after we wrapped. So,
All right,
here we
let's
go.
check it
Let's
out.
check it out.
Nice.
Nice.
Boys. How did I think I would find you here?
I love her
This
voice.
charming
I know.
establishment.
What you got there, though?
It is our first mission. Top secret. The war is over, but the good fight goes on.
Cheerio.
So,
Sorry.
after the bombings in Liege, along the Western Belgian front, the powers that be found something. It's very old, it's very powerful. And they want us to recover the artifact and deliver it to the Americans.
Don't dick
I
around.
mean, we don't want it in the wrong hands, do we?
Woohoo!
So
There it is.
charming.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's going to be more on the DVD, but that was a sneak preview.
Did you guys buy the digital, or are you waiting for the Blu-ray?
I'm waiting.
Same.
I'm waiting for
Old
the
school.
Blu-ray, but
Yeah.
I almost want to get both.
I
just
know, I was
because
thinking
I'm
about doing that too.
impatient.
I also hate when I'm traveling and I don't have the digital with me, and I just, like, you have to bring something. I like both. One for
Yeah.
home, one for the go.
Shout out to Leslie Jones because she was Instagramming about that, about how much she loves Wonder Woman, and she was like, "I bought the digital copy. I have the Blu-ray coming to my house. I have all this stuff." I was
Yeah.
like,
Awesome.
It's great when, for traveling, for people, I'm telling you, it saves you. Like with Netflix
airplane.
now, being able to download
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
I have to
man.
say, real quick plug for Johnny, because I downloaded your album to listen to on the
Aw,
plane on the way to
thanks.
Hawaii, and I loved it. It's so good. So
Everyone's gotta
if you guys
buy it. It's
haven't got
amazing.
it, go to quastoalbum.com and get it.
And who
because
did the
it's
artwork
super
for it?
good.
Ricky Middles.
Yeah.
But
And I
did
was
we talk
looking
about
at
how
the
we made?
image.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
It's
was
cute.
like,
Oh yeah,
and-
because it's up there the
my
whole time.
pants.
Oh, those your. Oh, that's right.
Ridiculous pants.
Oh my God, are those the ones we ripped?
Oh yeah, I borrowed the pants from Elena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about
No,
that.
not the fun pants, the janky pants.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, actually,
We had
two-
a wardrobe malfunction that day.
We did. Two of the outfits on my album cover, the red, white, and blue pants are Elena's, and then the guru, my guru outfit, it's Elena's, but it's a woman's size. And what you can't tell in the album is it was so small, the garment was stopping right above my boobs.
It was
and
like
so,
a cute little like sweetheart like off the shoulder thing that we had
Yeah.
to Photoshop.
So in post, this genius added more garment and made it look incredible.
Just gave you some
awesome.
shoulders with it.
So, but thank you for that's cool. You have to listen to it on the plane.
Yeah, I loved it. So
awesome.
that made me very happy that I got to.
That's why you
listen
need
to it and that
digital.
it was good. So yeah.
Well,
So
I
download
am-
it, guys. It's good.
I'm indeed honored. Steppenwolf Halloween mask is now available.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah, so
It's
talk about
cool.
actual spoiler alerts, though.
Yeah.
First,
I know,
earlier
right?
in the week, I think that they released, it was a Steppenwolf either toy or
Yep.
some company
Yeah.
did.
Well, this is much more detailed.
And this was
Yeah.
better of the face.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows how legit, but damn, there's
legit,
a lot
too
of
legit to quit.
Yeah, a lot of detail.
I don't
in
know.
this.
I'm thinking I might do like sexy Steppenwolf for Halloween.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Please,
No.
please.
Well, I feel like the face
I don't
is
know what that
kind
would
of
look like.
general.
Like shirtless.
Yeah.
It would just be.
I mean,
Steppenwolf, like,
sexy anything. That's what Halloween is now, right?
This is the weirdest thing ever though, because the movie won't even be out by
bunch of-
Halloween.
Yeah.
That's true.
a lot
How
of-
can you get excited to be Steppenwolf when you've never seen him in a movie?
Because I feel like when I was a little kid, I used to go to the store and whatever mask was the creepiest, I would wear. That's what you like. So this one
I
does a
mean,
pretty good
his
job.
chin looks very testicle-like, so that's pretty creepy. Yeah, that might be
Yeah.
the creepiest.
Some people call it a butt chin. You call it a balls chin.
Well, look
Yeah.
at it. It doesn't even look like a butt. It's...
My favorite mask to wear on Halloween as a kid was the Carly Beth mask, the Goosebumps mask.
Oh yeah.
I had the overalls and
can't
everything.
get it up.
Yeah.
There's
Did
no
you like-
There's no line.
There's no
Yeah.
line.
Did you like
same
Goosebumps
page,
better
we
than
got
Are
it.
You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh
can
my
choose
God.
your own adventure with Goosebumps.
Shout out to
loved Are You Afraid of the
Deadcast,
Dark?
my friend's Goosebumps podcast.
Oh.
I feel like
I
this
used
was
to watch Already for the Dark. My mom would get cinnamon, and we would sit, and she would throw it into the fireplace, and we would watch
Aw.
it together. Yeah.
I feel
so
like
shout out to
you're
my
a
mom
cool
for being
mom.
awesome.
I feel
Yeah.
like Goosebumps
We had
and
matching rocking chairs.
I feel like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark were after my time, maybe.
What?
Maybe not.
No.
Go back, watch them. Watcher's Woods, the creepiest.
I was probably
episode of
too
Are You
old
Afraid
for
of
the
Dark
show,
ever.
but- I mean,
Go
maybe if
look
you
it
were
up. It's
too
so
cool.
creepy. It's scary
Yeah.
It
now.
may have been a cool cat. I know R.L. Stein wrote them. I know that much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Sorry, off topic there.
Off topic, but
totally. Johnny, what do you got?
Not at all. We have a Walking Dead actor who wants to play the Joker.
A lot of people throwing their names in the ring to play the Joker. Obviously, it's the role of a lifetime. And once Jared Leto was cast, a bunch of people rolled up their sleeves and were like, F my life, now he's there. My question is, why are so many middle-aged white dudes throwing their name in? Like,
What part of
are
young
not-
don't you understand?
Exactly. What aren't you understanding? Origin story. I don't think his origin story starts circa age 30, 40, something. Like,
But
you've
that's
got to
the
be.
thing is with the Joker is an origin story is until recently we really didn't know what time period, and because the
Yeah.
Joker could actually originate. If you look at Harley's origin story, she was Dr. Harleen Quinzel up until
In her 20s.
Well, and,
Right,
and
so-
Jack
But not in
Nicholson,
her 30s or 40s. Like,
Jack Nicholson's origin, he was, in his 40s, I think. In that
yeah, fine, maybe.
But
But,
the way
I
that
just think that the
movie-
way that... well, first of all, we
Yeah.
just got potentially that he's in school. So
Right,
then
right.
you're that big kid with a smile who's, like, 40 in class, which is weird, unless you're the teacher.
but
which
it
would
was
be even weirder.
actually adult.
I read
Yeah.
this
So
guy's. I don't know much about this actor, but I
He's
read
incredible.
his quote, and it kind of irked me. He kind of made a comment at Heath Ledger's expense.
Yeah.
It
Here's what
says
he said,
basically the
yeah.
role. Oh, go ahead.
You can read it.
Oh, it says it'd be fun. I mean, it seems to screw everyone up. Whoever does it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
They-
Sorry.
they
They end
end
up
up-
going a bit crazy, except if you look at Jack Nicholson's Joker. But what I was reading, and I'd love to do it, is the younger, like, how the Joker became the Joker is what they're working on. So I'd assume it would be a younger person, but that type of character, there certainly would be a lot of interesting things to explore with him. I'd love to do my own different take on it. So yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
you're
know.
offering it to me, I'd take it.
I don't think this was the most
Eloquent.
eloquent way of putting what he was trying to say. I don't think
Don't
there's a
talk
single...
about someone's mental health like that.
Yeah. Not many actors would turn down the role, so I understand him saying, I mean, it'd be fun. I mean, but then after that, it goes downhill. Like,
Yeah.
just say it would be fun, and then say you really respect everybody who's taken on the role, and it could potentially be harder than you. And like,
Yeah.
just that's quote. He is a very talented actor.
I'm
though.
sure he is.
But yeah, I'm thinking that they're probably going to cast a teenager
Yeah.
or somebody in their 20s
mean,
to play.
Did you see Cameron Monahan tweeted?
Yes, I did.
Or Instagrammed? Yeah.
I love him.
It's
He's
gonna
great,
have
but I don't
to-
think it's going to happen.
I
It's
don't
going to
think so
have to be
either.
a progression because it's their decision as to what they show as far as his age progression and I don't know. It's tough.
And
call.
what they see.
A lot of people were fan arting Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise in It.
Yeah.
Because he's got that kind of he looks kind of like a younger version of Jared Leto's Joker, but I mean, I don't know if WB would cast him as two evil clowns in the same year.
I don't know either. I don't know.
So here's an opinion piece from Variety magazine. So last week on the show, this had just kind of come to light as we were basically broadcasting, so we didn't really know a whole lot about it.
It's also a hard thing to talk about. Like,
yeah, well, James Cameron's a dick. We'll just say that. And
at least in this scenario, he is.
Right.
He's dicking around.
He was.
No, but unfortunately, he's not dicking around.
Not in the good way.
He's telling the truth, to his truth.
Yeah.
And his truth is unfortunately rather chauvinistic and antiquated, which is a shame. But, we're not going to read the quote what he said about Wonder Woman and Patty Jenkins, but we just wanted to say we think it's ridiculous because we didn't get a chance to really talk about it much last week. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but then everyone also is entitled to responding to that opinion, and obviously the entertainment industry has done that.
I really love this Variety article. He, the person who wrote it, the female Claudia Eller, I believe is her name, the co-editor-in-chief. She titled it "James Cameron owes all female directors an apology," and it's an opinion piece, but it's not just Patty Jenkins, and I agree. This is disgusting to all female that are working in the industry or just breathing air in general.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a lovely notion, and screw you, Cameron.
Well, you guys, you two can obviously speak to this better than I ever could, but it just seems like he's saying you can't be a feminist, you can't be a powerful woman and be beautiful at the same time, and that's so absurd. Why can't they coexist? Why can't you be beautiful and his choice to go after the movie rather than celebrate the movie and contribute
it's so strange,
something
though, because
positive.
I've heard a lot of people being like, jealousy is a factor here, and it's like, what is he jealous of? He's one of the biggest human beings of all time.
Yeah, sure. He's written some great female characters. So
it's just kind of an intrinsic notion, unfortunately, for a lot of older generation in Hollywood, is that women, especially, this also goes back to comedians, is you can't be an attractive and funny female comedian, is what a lot of people think, and it's very frustrating. Yeah. You can't be a smart and talented and beautiful director or a smart and talented and beautiful actress and it is very demeaning, where it just strips people down to the point that you have to pick almost the Spice Girl mentality of which persona do you want to be, and you can only be that. You can't be a multifaceted person.
Yeah, what he's doing is
ginger or baby. Maybe I want both.
Well, you have to be. It's like the way the entertainment industry works is you have to be typecast at first, and then once you reach a certain level of success, then you could start to say, "Hey, there's other sides of me." But it just wants to put you in a box, and
like
unfortunately,
Chris Pine, go ahead.
Unfortunately, the entertainment industry is always going to be image based. It's always going to be immediately what's my first impression when I look at you. And
that's why I also love now the internet generation, that we can have audiences directly respond and say to people who have been, as we say, up in the golden towers, who have been isolated from the public, who say, fans don't want action figures of the female superheroes because those don't sell. They now have fans coming back saying that's not true. They get the pushback. They get, they get people responding to Cameron's quote. They get this huge influx of people saying, no, that's incorrect. And I feel like now is a very pivotal time in Hollywood that we're starting to see the shift. And I feel like Wonder Woman specifically is going to have a lot more impact historically, looking at film history, than people are really giving it credit right now.
I agree, and I also think just even more, like you're talking about morally and all the, as a businessman, what a weird play. Yeah. To put down an up and coming, I don't mean up and coming because she's that new, I mean up and coming because she hasn't created that many films, director who everybody is loving, who probably has idolized you at one point in her life. And like if you had tweeted at her being like, I loved this film, or reached out, she probably would have been thrilled.
camaraderie.
Yeah, it's just such a weird move because they say treat people on the way up the same way.
But it's a man.
On the way down,
It's a man in his position defining what a woman should be. And man, that's tone deaf.
Sense,
And look, the last thing anyone his age should be thinking he knows is women.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with even his age. It's just like him
In
as a
general.
person. Yeah, it's just a weird play. Business-wise,
just-
doesn't make
yeah.
sense. As a human being, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
As somebody who's supposed to relate to characters and be able to direct females well, it doesn't make sense.
But we've also got kind of a cool conversation going. Not that like I appreciate his comments, but now we're people
we're
are
talking
talking about
Yeah.
how messed up it was.
Exactly, which I
Yeah.
think also kind of ties in well to the next story that
Oh,
you
yeah.
found.
Yeah,
Roxy,
let's get some
about-
positivity here. So at Sri Lankan Comic-Con, there were two...
Which I didn't know existed, by the way.
They're everywhere.
There's Comic-Cons everywhere.
That's awesome.
two,
Fly me out to that one.
Yeah, two lovely ladies decided to dress up as their own version of Wonder Woman, and they posted on social media. I guess they were getting ridiculed on
This
social
was
media.
so strange because first of all, like I'm not trying to be rude here, but these women are objectively beautiful. Like it's not even
Yes.
like, sometimes you see somebody and they're a little offbeat and to you they're beautiful, but maybe not to the public you could understand. But like
I was confused.
These-
Like, what are they talking
these,
about?
these women are beautiful and they look like happy and strong, and they were getting
And their
ridiculed.
costumes are amazing.
And their costumes
Yeah,
are
they look
great.
incredible.
And they were getting ridiculed for being not beautiful and too skinny, which was like
The same thing Gal Gadot dealt with when she got cast.
Yeah,
But
which
they're-
I
Talk about
love
tone deaf.
that-
they're also not getting cast though. They're cosplaying. Like
Yeah.
you have a problem with their body type as cosplayers,
which I
What?
really don't get.
And like, I don't know if these people understand. Cosplaying is freaking hard
Yeah.
to get it movie accurate
She
and
knows.
fit. I mean, it is legit.
Yeah.
Well, part of the reason
nothing to
that I
shake a
love
finger at.
cosplay too so much is that it breaks down so many boundaries and it breaks so many borders and
Yeah.
it really opens up the mind. Hopefully, I'm hoping at some point of casting directors and of people, because nobody ever walks up and says, I love your Sri Lankan Wonder Woman, or I love your Asian Wonder Woman, or I love your black Batman. You say, I love your Batman, I
Yeah.
love your Wonder Woman.
It's
Ethnicity
irrelevant.
doesn't
Can you
matter,
imagine?
gender doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah, and it's one of those things where people, they just celebrate the character and the love for the character, and all of the demographic things just fade away. And so to see somebody attacked for body type,
Not filling out their suit right or
it
something.
goes against everything that I think cosplay stands for,
It
and
was
all
really
the
cool
reasons
though.
that I love it.
Because
Yeah.
that Twitter and social media like stood up for them
Yeah,
so
the cosplay
hard.
yeah.
community, I think, just rallied so hard for that reason. And Patty Jenkins herself even.
She,
And there have been people that have added them to actual Wonder Woman movie
Yeah.
posters now, which is
make
really
them-
incredible.
yeah.
It's
This
just
is
the
just a
cruel
weird one to
irony.
me.
Yeah, it's like the movie itself is about empowering females, and here you are bashing a female for the body type. Do you understand what you're doing?
Yes. No, they don't. They have no
It's
idea.
also what was also strange is like they're behind a bunch of armor. Like I cannot tell you for certain what either of their body types are. They
Yeah.
just look beautiful and they look like they're behind a bunch
Yeah.
of armor. I don't know
I think
what
they look amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's just the internet, and it's the worst sometimes.
people, people just hate just to hate. But I love that there's more love than hate, and I think that that's very Wonder Woman of all of the
Yes.
fans to be
Yeah.
like, look, let's celebrate love. There's always going to be hate, but as long as we rally together and we stand up for
Yes.
everybody, love will
Yes.
always prevail.
And if you two ladies are listening or watching, keep cosplaying and wear those costumes everywhere you go.
Awesome. Even if you're not those ladies, just you
Yeah.
in general.
Everybody.
Do it.
Ladies,
Anybody can be
fellas.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it's time for TV time, right?
Is it time?
It's time for
Whoa.
Roxy Striar's TV time.
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Johnny's fine. Adam's cooking so divine. Also Mikey Christmas time. DC movie news. It's time to talk TV time.
Whoa,
What's up?
Yeah,
that is legitimate.
so legit, right?
Pretty solid.
So speaking of Comic-Cons, do you think that I took too long with that transition to say speaking of Comic-Cons? Because we haven't been talking about Comic-Con for a little
Nah,
bit
it
now.
worked. It worked.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's perfect.
Just checking.
I loved it.
Speaking of Comic-Cons, we already knew that Michael Emerson was going to be in Arrow. In case you guys are not a massive fan of him like I am.
Oh, cool.
He comes from Person of Interest, which you might know him from, but obviously me, Lost. Like he is
And
one of
also
the best villains
returning
of all
to the
time.
DC world, he played the Joker in The Dark Knight Returns.
Very, very true. Very true. And
Cool.
he's a pretty cool guy, and he's kind of eerie and creepy. And we didn't know exactly which way his character would be going in Arrow, but we knew he was going to be. It's either returning or reoccurring. One of those two. So he'll be in multiple episodes at least. We got a little more information on him, which is, quote, this character that we're having Michael play is somewhat similar to people he has played in the past. That's from Miracle, co-producer, I believe, of the show.
Cool.
But we had many conversations with him about how to make it different and what elements we could bring to the character to change it up. So that would make my assumption that he's going to be some, like, super eerie, on edge, could snap, could not,
It
very
would have to be.
intelligent
The whole
kind of
show's
guy.
on edge. That's assume.
Yeah.
This far into it.
They also commented on how he is to work with, which I always just want to give a shout out to actors who people say this about. He's a dream to work with, and I think he's doing an amazing job. We've seen some of the dailies of some of his episodes, and he's just fantastic. He's a really understated, subtle actor, and that brings a different energy on set. It's great. So I love that.
Sweet.
Nice.
So Vixen, they took down that link, by the way.
Oh, man.
No longer a Vabes.
Who says?
YouTube's.
The YouTube says?
I just went up there and it's not available.
The YouTube said to us?
But the
Okay.
Gotham preview
I'm gonna
is
tell
available.
No, but I'm going to tell you what the Vixen video is, because that's the relevant part. It's not actually being able to watch it, but the interesting part about this Vixen video that was posted is that they announced that they're doing a 2-hour broadcast debut. So if you guys are fans of Vixen and you've been watching it digitally, they're going to do a 2-hour broadcast, and I don't know exactly what that's going to look like in terms of if it's going to be all new footage, if it's 2 hours of partially things you've seen, partially new stuff. I believe the video did lay it out for us, but now it's down, and I'm wondering whether that's because they spoke too soon.
Maybe.
Or
I'm
what?
sorry, I don't know what Vixen is. What is
So
Vixen?
Vixen was on CWC. Do you know what that is?
Oh, okay.
The digital thing.
It is a DC animated series where it's shorts every week. There were like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then remember, the character Vixen came over to Legends of Tomorrow, and I believe an episode of
it.
Flash or something.
I gotta catch up.
Yeah, and now we've got live action Vixen, who was Vixen's granddaughter back in time, some story like that.
Cool.
But she emulates the power of different animals. So with her, she doesn't actually have the powers. It's in her necklace, and she can like be an elephant and have the strength of that, or be like a hawk and can fly, all different kinds of things like that. So that's Vixen, which is pretty cool if you ever checked it out. I'm a fan. Oh, on Arrow. Thank you. Vixen was on Arrow, not Flash.
By the way, this is breaking. We can't really get to it, but apparently Warner Brothers just uploaded a new Wonder Woman video with Edda explaining the Amazons. So it's on the WB website.
I thought I had seen that. There was a couple things they had uploaded that are going to be on the Blu-ray. But yeah, Johnny, sorry, you were segueing us into Gotham.
Yeah, if you want to watch the preview, we got it.
So Gotham in general, just so you guys know as we're pulling that preview up, is moving to Thursday nights. And what you're going to want to look out for in this preview is this brand new Batman look. I truly do not know what to make of it. It's
I didn't know this was happening so soon.
It's pretty nifty.
This fall,
Okay.
I'm not giving the
Never
city
wanted
over
to
to Penguin.
describe that.
Gotham moves to Thursday.
I can make a difference, Alfred. I know I can.
Actually,
Gotham needs more people who are willing to fight for her.
There is time for masks, and there is a time for Bruce Wayne.
Very true.
The dirty work.
As you guys know, I'm actually starting to love this show.
It's dangerous. You are engaging villains.
I feel more alive than I've ever felt before.
Gotham season premiere Thursday, September 21st on Fox.
Yeah,
Little baby Batman.
So he's got a look going on. Yep, it's a look.
They're doing their own thing.
They're doing their own thing.
Looking.
Yep. I don't really have much more to say about that than that.
I'm sure David is super excited to be wearing it.
Yeah. Johnny, I know that you found a little bit of TV Time news that you wanted to chit-chat about, like Dick Grayson.
Yeah, that actually...
Oh, we're getting to my favorite news of the week.
That actually just dropped. So there's going to be... We mentioned the Warner Bros. Is going to have a digital channel, a DC digital channel coming out next year. And Brenton Thwaites, is going to be playing Dick Grayson on the live-action Titans series.
I'm so here for Brenton Thwaites.
You are?
I'm so sad he's not Brenton Thwaites that he's not Nightwing in the DCEU.
Why are you here for Brenton Thwaites?
Purely physical
he's got
reasons.
a good look to him.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with him for a while, and that's the only reason I went to see the new Pirates movie.
I was going to ask you, did you enjoy it? I have not seen it yet.
You know, it's fun. Like those Pirates movies, they're kind of like, you don't go in expecting that it to change the world. It's just sort of like another drop in the hat. They're always fun, and
definitely worth having a drink before.
He's got like a great like British charm, you know, heroic, love-struck thing.
They're
going
putting
for
this
him.
cast together, you know, with Starfire, Raven. Every week I feel like we've got one Titans cast, one member of the team cast.
Yeah.
So slowly but surely this is coming together. I know that for a while we thought that it was on TNT, and now we know it is not.
No.
But
I imagine the casting process was like send in your headshot for Nightwing specifically. Send in your headshot and send in your butt shot. Because
give me your butt.
You got a lot to live up
that
to.
Yeah.
It's all about Nightwing's
They
butt.
cast from top to bottom.
Yes.
Another casting,
I'm going to
too.
leave that alone.
Black Lightning has actually cast their version of Tobias Whale. It's going to be, I don't know this gentleman. He's from Los Angeles. He's a rap artist. Marvin Crondon Jones III. Wow, great get for him. I mean, it's he certainly looks like he could play the role.
What was interesting was when I at Comic-Con, and you can go check these out on AfterBuzz, when I interviewed the cast of Black Lightning, I was talking to Cress Williams, who's playing Black Lightning, and this is off camera, but I can share it. They have not done it table read for an episode yet, or at least they hadn't in July.
Weird.
This is not. That's why I was surprised to hear another piece of casting news, because as of the end of July, this show has not been. You know, they're not filming. They haven't even done the first table read. So that I'm glad to hear that there's some momentum behind it, because I'm thinking that this is probably going to be a January kind of situation going on with CW, like a mid-season filler.
Could be.
But we'll see. Definitely not with our fall lineup.
And
That's probably a good call.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that all TV time?
Well, the one last thing that I want to say about TV time was Preacher. There is another episode of Preacher, and I won't give spoilers because Adam isn't here to geek out with me over it. You're not watching Preacher, are you?
No.
Oh my God, you have to get there. It's just so freaking good.
Yeah.
And I know you watch, but you're
I'm still behind.
You're a little
I'm always a
behind.
week behind.
This show this week got very weird and very controversial. If you're like not chill with any spoilers, then tune out now. But there's some weird Hitler stuff that's going on.
Okay.
And we're doing kind of a similar to the Joker, making people feel sympathy for the Joker. We're kind of doing that with Hitler on the show. And
brave.
I know that some people are not digging it anymore. What I will say is that not that this makes it better or worse, but there are part of the team are Jewish creators, and part of and they have acknowledged that this is a weird move, and I'm trusting that they know where they're going with this.
Gotta be an end game.
And also keep in mind it's comic books and it's weird, and nobody is trying to make the statement that you should sympathize with Hitler. So I've seen a lot of weird comments on that. I love the show. It's a weird move. In Preacher we trust. I'm sticking with it, and we'll see how this works out.
Wow.
That was my quick comment on Preacher.
Well, lastly, let's close out with a quote from Patty Jenkins. This should have been earlier in the show, but it happens to be here. Either way, it's her talking about the Wonder Woman sequel. And I quote, "The greatest thing about making this movie was the fact that you're really building the Wonder Woman that we all love, but not until the end of the movie. The most exciting thing about the sequel is literally seeing her loose in the world now, living those classic stories. Here's Wonder Woman, and what can she do? It should be a totally different movie, but a grand and now a full-blown Wonder Woman in the world." And hell yeah.
So you like ending with Wonder Woman more than Hitler? I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's just a good call, I think.
Going with our love over hate theme, I think maybe that's a good.
I just realized I'm gonna have a Brenton Thwaites action figure one day.
Cool.
Wow.
Good for you.
We're ending on a happy note.
Cool. That's a good thought.
All right,
Okay.
Johnny, get us out of here.
All right, let's all put ourselves over. We're at DC Movies SK on Twitter, Facebook.com/DC Movies SK. Elena Jordan, go.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl.
I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. And don't forget, now that we're free, all you bitches can do this. I know you can.
That's right.
Watch TV fights. We're on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Go to Screen Junkies News YouTube channel. If you're a big Game of Thrones fan, we did a whole Game of Thrones fight this past week. That was epic, so go check that out.
And tell him tweet him. Tell him you want me back on there.
Yeah, tweet him. Did he not respond?
No.
I'll text him after this.
God's sake. Ricky Middlesworth.
You can find me on Instagram at Ricky Middlesworth if you like wedding photos and such. Buy Johnny's album.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
You're too much. QuastoAlbum.com. You can get it on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. And yeah, really excited. I just submitted my album to Pandora today, so fingers crossed, y'all. Cool. But yes, QuastoAlbum.com. We'd love you for it. And I'm coming to Detroit in November, and I forget what other stand-up dates, but we'll get to them eventually. Adam Gertler, at Adam Gertler, Mike Kalinowski, at Mike Kalinowski, and you'll see plenty more of them next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Did she just call?
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Kristian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.